In this juncture, let us observe a moment of silence as we prepare our hearts and minds for this enlightening event.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Our most gracious Heavenly Father, we come to you today to praise and worship you and give you thanks for all the things you continue to provide for ourselves and our families. Father, we humbly ask for forgiveness for all the times you have offended you. Continue to guide and protect us, Lord. Bestow upon us your unending grace and healing, that we may in turn become instruments of gentleness and compassion to others. We ask all this in the name of your Son, our Lord Jesus Christ, with prayer and intercession of our Blessed Mother. Amen.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma iyyaka na'bud wa iyyaka nasta'in. Allahumma hadina as-siratal mustaqim. اللهم وحد صفوفنا بين المسلمين والنصارى واللوماد إلى صراطك المستقيم. اللهم امنحهم العيش بالأمن والسلامة والتنمية المستدامة في مدينة دافاو. اللهم لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Amoy nen manama kami gimot tolangon, manotod kakaroson no. Si koikaw kami dokul tolangon, way migtumpi to tano. Si koikaw kami bohoy to kopianan tolangon na maoto. Pusako kapusung no, kana kuntoy. Agbuyo ko ikaw, way bohoy kat pabor, kahalaan, kalinaw, to kanami. No pag-ugpo, way kasabo kakoy, oyot kalambo. Kay kuro tamana kakodin panubad, way pag-ampo, kaupianan igbohoy no, way kakoy kumimo no, way kahalaan ko lang.
Kung timog ng Mindanao, may isang lungsod na hinirang. Ang likas niyang kayamanan ay walang kapantay. Mga bundok, dagat, lupain, laging sagana sa pagkain. At ang magagandang tanawin, kaluan ng aliw, mutiang lungsod ng Davao sa iyong paglalakbay. Sa miting kaunlaran, ikaw ay paglilingkuran, tayo'y Davaoenyo, matapat at totoo. Pangarap ay matamo, Luwalhatian mo lungsod ng paraiso. Ngunit lungsod ng Davao sa iyong paglalakbay. Sa ngiting kaunlaran, ikaw ay paglilingkuran. Tayo'y Davaoenyo na tapat at totoo. Pangarap ay mata mo, kaluwalhatian mo lungsod ng paraiso. Pangarap ay mata mo, kaluwalhatian mo lungsod ng paraiso.
Nestled in a sprawling 3-hectare property in University Avenue, Huna Subdivision, Matina, Davao City, the Philippine Women's College of Davao proudly stands. Established in 1953 by Francisca Tirona Benitez and PWU alumni from Mindanao, the school is built around the Philomenian values of excellence, quality education, and service to community and country. The school started with an initial offering of kindergarten and elementary courses for boys and girls, an all-female regular high school, 1-year collegiate home arts and secretarial training courses, and a 2-year college course in music. Its first dean and principal of the high school department was Miss Fraternidad J. Gonzalez. In the next 2 decades, PWC of Davao established its niche as an art and culture school. PWC of Davao inaugurated the Mindanao Folk Arts Center with an initial collection of Muslim artifacts gathered by Isabel A. Santos, faculty member of both PWU and PWC of Davao and costume director of the Bayanihan National Folk Dance Company. It also developed the 1-hectare Mindanao Island, site of various recreational activities and an outdoor venue for painting and art workshops with the late national artist Victorio Edades and PWC artist and educator Brenda Barba. In 1974, PWC started its PAA School application survey for elementary and high school units. By 1976, the school was accredited. PWC began accepting male enrollees for its 2-year Associate in Hotel and Restaurant Management course in 1976. From the 80s through the 90s, Dean Maria Gracia Conde was tasked to oversee the school operations. It was during this period that PWC began upgrading its facilities and expanded its programs to include 4-year courses in hotel and restaurant management, business administration, fine arts, and tourism. Attorney Rosa Santos Munda was installed as the first PWC president in 1987 and served until 2005. During her term, computer education was added to the high school and college levels, and PWC began accepting male students in the high school department. More baccalaureate courses were added in school year 2001 to 2002, namely Bachelor of Science in Food Technology, Bachelor of Elementary Education with specialization in Special Education and Early Childhood Education, Bachelor of Secondary Education with majors in Mathematics, Values Education, and Guidance and Counseling. Ms. Amelia B. Bonifacio was designated as Vice President and Chief Operating Officer in 2004. In school year 2005 to 2006, Dr. Amelia Lourdes Benitez Reyes was installed as the second president of PWC. It was during her term that PWC began offering the Sunday High School Weekend College, Testa Tivet for short-term programs, and continuing education in the teaching profession. The Mindanao Folk Arts Museum, which was established in 1958, was expanded into a studies center. PWC's physical infrastructure and campus facilities were also upgraded. tertiary department's transition from the semester to the trimester program was another noteworthy development during this period. In October 2006, Dr. Ida Yap Patron was appointed Dean for Tertiary Education. A year later, she was named Vice President for Academics. Dr. Patron further aligned and revised the curricula for the various courses in the tertiary program for the trimester mode and applied for the recognition of other courses such as BS in Entrepreneurship and BS in Information Technology. In 2012, the PWC Senior High School Model Program was recognized as one of the most successful pilot programs in the country. The SHS Model Program was a seamless educational ladder toward a college education. In school year 2015 to 2016, Conrado Benitez II was formally installed as the third president of PWC, a post he held until his untimely passing in 2020. It was under his leadership that PWC built the new senior high school building with more classrooms and laboratories to accommodate the growing population of students while maintaining the quality of instruction. Aiming to provide high-quality education at an affordable price to more Davaoeños, PWC, in partnership with the Lorenzo Company, developed PWC Ciudades in the northern part of Davao City, initially for learners in kindergarten to the 3rd grade. Additional bachelor's degree programs were created and recognized by the Commission on Higher Education, such as BS in Accountancy, Bachelor in Physical Education, and BS in Psychology. 2 major courses for business education were added. These are Human Resource Management and Financial Management. Compensation and benefits of PWC personnel were also reviewed and improved. With the passing of President Conrad Benitez in 2020, Professor Vicente Antonio V. Pijano III, who was Vice President for Institutional Development, was tasked to oversee the school operations as Chancellor and Chief Operating Officer of PWC. With a clear vision coupled with technical expertise, Chancellor Pijano has since upgraded the school infrastructure to keep abreast of technological advancements. Systems and processes were reviewed and improved to effectively serve the growing PWC population. He has placed strong emphasis on research and innovation, as well as forging partnerships with local government units and private and international institutions through the Center for Innovation and Social Ventures. PWC began offering 5 new programs, namely Bachelor of Arts in Psychology, Bachelor of Multimedia Arts, Bachelor of Science in Management Accounting, Bachelor of Early Childhood Education, and Bachelor of Culture and Arts Education. PWC has also partnered with Lithan Academy, a digital learning and talent platform in Singapore, to offer undergraduate programs enriched with robust mentorship, international learning experience, and paid apprenticeships. The PWC Lithan EduClass program began offering BS in IT, major in software engineering, and BS in entrepreneurship, major in digital business in 2021. PWC's PQF Level 5 diploma programs were given recognition by TESDA, namely Hotel and Restaurant Technology, Travel Services, Fashion Design, and Performing Arts. These programs are described as a seamless educational ladder toward respective bachelor's degrees, similar to that of the senior high school program. More innovations are in the pipeline, including the productive utilization of the Food Processing and Innovation Center, a joint endeavor of PWC with the Department of Science and Technology and the City Government of Davao, and the Stimulation for Technology Transitioning and Industry-Bound Creative Hubs, or STITCH, a partnership with Department of Trade and Industry and the Davao Fashion and Design Council Foundation, Incorporated. Its most recent trailblazing innovation is the establishment of the Creative Hub for Industry 4.0, or CHI, a DOST-funded technology business incubator focusing on biocircular green food and fashion, the first ever in the country. Throughout its history, PWC has weathered various challenges and has invariably emerged victorious. Today, as it celebrates its 70th year, it continues to build on the dreams and aspirations of its founders to establish an institution built around the full values of excellence, quality education, and service to community and country, and as such helps in building a strong and prosperous nation by producing graduates who are God-loving, academically competent, patriotic and civic-minded, environmentally and socially concerned, globally competitive, and committed to the promotion of a peaceful and productive Philippines.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed partners from the Visayas and Mindanao Academe Industry Innovation Council, the men and women from the Belvito and Catalina Yap Foundation, students and faculty from different higher educational institutions, I welcome you to the BCYF Philippine Innovation Week in the Visayas and Mindanao 2024 culminating program. My name is Vince Russo A. Curieta, and I will be your facilitator in this afternoon session. Before we formally begin, I would like to take this moment to invite everybody to like and share our Facebook page since we are airing this live in that platform. This year's edition culminates the week-long celebration of the Philippine Women's College of Davao, honoring 7 decades of innovation, excellence, and tradition. The series of engaging sessions, insightful discussions, and inspiring presentations during the past week all centered around the theme, Innovation is Our Tradition. From our founders' pioneering initiatives to today's cutting-edge advancements, innovation has been woven in every fabric of PWC that we shared with our cohorts in Visayas and Mindanao Innovation Community. Thus today, as we close this year VIZ MIN Innovation Week celebration, I warmly welcome everyone to an online celebration like no other. In this moment, it is with a great pleasure that I will invite the Chancellor and COO of the Philippine Women's College of Davao, President of the Davao Association of Colleges and Universities Network, and Association of Public and Private Schools, Colleges and Universities in Region 11, and the co-chair of the VIZ MIN BCYF Innovation Week celebrations, Professor Vicente Antonio V. Pejano, to set the tone for our event with his opening remarks. A virtual round of applause, please.
Good afternoon, and madayaw sa inyong tanan. First of all, let me greet our esteemed guests, starting with the chairman of the VIZ MIN Industry Academic Council, none other Mr. Boy Chukinghoy, and the president of the BCYF Foundation, Mr. Tony Yap, and our guests coming from our partner institutions, the special guests who are joining us today in our Zoom room, and then those that are actually joining us through the various streaming feeds that we are hosting, as a sign that we are also not only preaching innovation, but rather we are actually practicing innovative ideas and thoughts. Special greetings to each and every one of you. This is a very important event for us. For today, we gather to celebrate the end of the 70th Innovation Week. It is a momentous occasion filled with reflection, gratitude, and inspiration. A decade ago, PwC made a pivotal decision to embrace a new mantra called Innovation is Our Tradition. This declaration did not merely signal a change in direction, but it became the bedrock of our vision and the overarching principle of our being. Innovation is our tradition encapsulates the essence of who we are and what we stand for. It is a testament of our unwavering commitment to pushing the boundaries of possibilities, challenging the status quo, and pioneering new frontiers of discoveries and ideas. It is the rallying cry that inspires us to think differently and to act boldly, and to drive meaningful change in everything that we do. Over the past decade, this mantra has guided us through triumphs, challenges, successes, and setbacks. However, it has fueled our passion for excellence that propelled us towards new horizons. It allowed us to be united with the community and also people like Mr. Chuking Hoy and Mr. excuse me, Chuking Hoy and others, so that we are actually working hand in hand, uniting for a better future for our country. Today, as we celebrate the end of the 70th Innovation Week, we reaffirm our dedication to the principles of research, innovation, development, and enterprise. We honor the legacy of those who came before us, those with courage, vision, and determination that pave way for innovation and transformation. For us in PwC, with our partners like Mr. Chuking Hoy and Mr. Yap, we have been driving research and innovation so that it embodies the spirit of our mantra. This journey has fueled the curiosity, the determination, and the relentless pursuit for excellence, not only for our students, but also for our faculty and administrators. It is a journey characterized by resiliency, collaboration, and the unwavering belief in the power of human ingenuity. What is important for us is that we are able to bring together all these people so that in the heart of our activity and our endeavors, we are fostering connections and nurturing the exchange of ideas. It is this coming together that we are able to pull different talents from different fields, thereby creating something greater than the sum of its parts. We are honored to have with us today Undersecretary Fita Aldaba of DTI, whose insights on the impact and the implication of the PISIDA law will shed light on the transformative potential of the policy framework of fostering creativity and innovation. Additionally, we are greatly honored and privileged to welcome Mr. Butch Karugay, a prime mover behind the UNESCO Cities of Design initiative. His wealth of experience and expertise will offer invaluable perspectives on how cities can harness design as a driver of sustainable development and cultural enrichment. Last but not least, one of our very own, Professor Tina Ramos, whose expertise on food innovation and the Pentahelix Network promises to inspire us to explore new frontiers, not only in terms of food innovation, food engineering, but as well how it drives bio-circular creativity and interdisciplinary collaboration. Together, these three speakers will actually allow us to, they represent the vanguard of creativity and innovation in their respective fields. Their insights and experiences will undoubtedly enrich our discussion and deepen our understanding of the best practices that define our industry and the creative world. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Yusik Fita, Butch Karugay, and Professor Tina Ramos for graciously sharing their expertise with us today. Your contributions will undoubtedly propel us to the future filled with endless possibilities and boundless creativity. I'd also like to thank our partners, Mr. Chuking Hoy, Mr. Yap, and our own staff headed by Emmy Ingles and the other people in PWC who work so hard to make this event a successful one. Sa inyong tanan, daghang salamat. Again, thank you and let us embrace the wealth of knowledge and inspiration that awaits us today during these sessions. Maayong hapon kaninyong tanan.
Wow, thank you for that enlightening and inspiring welcome remarks, Professor Pihano. In this juncture, I would like to call on Mr. Antonio Yap, the Foundation's president of the Benita and Catalino Yap Foundation, to give his inspirational message. Mr. Yap. I think Mr. Yap has technical difficulties. Moving forward, let us call on and to inspire us further to this celebration, let us call on the chairman of the BCYF Philippine Innovation Month for Visayas and Mindanao, Mr. Felix O. Chiconhoy. A warm applause, please. Sir.
Thank you. Mr. Antonio Yap, Chairman of the Benita and Catalino Yap Foundation. Mr. Vicente Tito Pihano III, Co-Chairman of the BCYF, VIZ MIN Innovation Council. Distinguished speakers, ladies and gentlemen, maayong hapon kaninyong tanan. As we gather today at the Innovation Forum to celebrate the best practices in the creative industry, I am reminded of the boundless potential that lies within each of us. The creative industry thrives on innovation, fueled by the passion and dedication of individuals like yourselves. To the students present in this forum, I urge you to embrace curiosity and cultivate a mindset of continuous learning. Your fresh perspectives and bold ideas have the power to reshape the landscape of the creative industry. And to the administrators and faculty members, your guidance and mentorship play a pivotal role in nurturing the next generation of innovators. Your wisdom and experience pave the way for greatness, inspiring others to push boundaries and defy expectations. Together, let us harness the power of creativity to drive positive change and transform dreams into reality. May today's discussions and insights ignite a spark within each of us, propelling us towards the future filled with endless possibilities. Thank you.
Thank you for that wisdom talk, Sir Boy, and inspiring us with your insightful wisdom and sterling career that continued the build of the Benita and Catalino Yap Foundation in the innovation ecosystem of the country and the ASEAN region. Now we focus on the tipping balance between innovation and creativity at this juncture. To share the impact of collaboration since the enactment of the Philippine Creative Industries Development Act, we have prepared a pre-recorded presentation by the Undersecretary of the Competitiveness and Innovation Group of the Department of Trade and Industry. Let us all welcome Dr. Rafaelita Aldaba.
Good day, everyone. It is my great pleasure to speak to you today about the Philippine creative industries. Recognizing the importance of the creative industries in driving economic growth and development, the Philippine Creative Industries Development Act, or PCIDA, was recently enacted. The Philippines has a rich cultural heritage and a diverse range of influences, which have given rise to unique forms of creative expression. One of the key strengths of the Philippine creative industries is the ability of local creative professionals to leverage new technologies to create innovative and groundbreaking work. With globalization, digitalization, and increasing demand for creative goods and services, the Philippines is well positioned to take advantage of these trends and establish itself as a leading player in the global creative industries. I divided the presentation into three parts. Part 1 briefly discusses the economic contribution of the creative industries. Part 2 provides a description of Republic Act 11904 or PCIDA, while Part 3 presents the Malikhaing Pinoy program. The Philippine Creative Industries Development Act defines the creative industries as trades involving persons, whether natural or juridical, that produce cultural, artistic, and innovative goods and services originating in human creativity, skill, and talent, and having a potential to create wealth and livelihood through the generation and utilization of intellectual property. The Philippine creative industries cover the following 9 domains: audiovisual media, digital interactive media, creative services, design, publishing and printed media, performing arts, visual arts, traditional cultural expressions, and cultural sites. Recent estimates from the Philippine Statistics Authority indicated that the creative industries contributed 1.6 trillion pesos to the economy in 2022. Symbols and images and other related activities had the highest contribution to the total creative industries, valued at 528.35 billion pesos, representing a share of almost 33%. Advertising, research and development, and other artistic activities accounted for a share of 21%, while digital interactive goods and services had a share of 20%. In terms of employment contribution, there were 6.98 million Filipinos employed in the creative industries, of which 43% were in traditional cultural expression activities, followed by symbols and images with a share of 25%, and advertising, R&D, and other artistic services, which registered a share of 18%. The Philippine Creative Industries Development Act, or PCIDA, aims to develop and promote the country's creative industries. This act seeks to provide support and incentives to the sector, such as access to financing, information, support for infrastructure development, research and development, innovation, and digitalization. The Philippine Creative Industries Development Council will play a crucial role in the development and promotion of the country's creative industries. The Council is tasked to formulate policies and programs that will support the growth of the creative industries, as well as to coordinate and collaborate with various government agencies and private sector organizations and other stakeholders. The Council is going to be chaired by the DTI Secretary and is composed of 19 members, 10 ex officio members consisting of DTI, DepEd, DOST, NEDA, Department of Tourism, DICT, DILG, CHED, NCCA, and IPOPHIL. There are 9 private sector representatives coming from the 9 creative domains that we discussed earlier. Its main functions include planning and policy formulation, private sector participation, marketing and promotion, capacity building, among others. The Council will formulate the Philippine Creative Industries Development Plan or Roadmap, identifying key objectives, strategies, targets, and initiatives to promote the growth and development of the country's creative industries. The plan shall include a 3-year, 6-year, and 10-year development timeline and will be designed to promote the competitiveness and sustainability of the sector and to establish the Philippines as a major player in the global creative economy. The PCIDA offers significant state support to the creative industries in the country. The law creates a Creative Industry Development Fund that provides financial assistance such as grants, loans, and other forms of funding to creative entrepreneurs, businesses, and organizations. The government is also mandated to provide technical and other support services to the creative industries, including infrastructure support, research and development, innovation support, creative voucher system, and one-stop registration center, among others. Moreover, the PCIDA establishes the Philippine Creative Cities Network, a collaborative network of creative entrepreneurs and organizations aimed at promoting innovation and growth in the sector. A Creative Workers Welfare Standing Committee is created to ensure that creative freelancers and workers have access to sustainable and dignified work in the creative industries. To promote the competitiveness and sustainability of the creative industries, the Malikhaing Pinoy program focuses on addressing cross-cutting issues and constraints that hinder the development of the sector, such as the lack of official statistics on the economic performance and contribution of the sector, limited access to capital, skills mismatches, limited access to new technologies, and limited participation in global value chains. To address these issues, the Malikhaing Pinoy program proposes the following components. Number 1, institutional strengthening. Initiatives under this component include gathering of market intelligence and insights, industry studies, and establishment of statistical databases. We are partnering with the Philippine Statistics Authority in building the creative economy satellite accounts. These are necessary to build the foundation for evidence-based policymaking, program formulation, and investment decision-making. The second component is the Creative Venture Fund. The idea is to use this fund to co-finance creative and innovative programs, projects, and activities, especially in the areas of research and development, business expansion, human skills development, and welfare promotion. The fund shall be available to the beneficiaries in the form of grants, equity, and soft loans. The third is the Creative Learning Academy. The Creative Learning Academy will serve as a learning platform to upskill and reskill creative professionals and ensure that they remain globally competitive. So we equip them with the latest skills required in adopting new and emerging technologies. The fourth is Creative Innovation Centers, which will provide creative professionals access to laboratories and facilities for demonstration of cutting-edge technologies, performing advanced research, and conducting learning and training programs. It will also serve as a platform for co-creation among actors in the creative ecosystem. The last one is the Creative Market Acceleration Program. A Creative Market Acceleration Program will be developed to ensure the business expansion of creative firms to take advantage of the opportunities in both the domestic and the global markets. The program will link creative enterprises to potential technology partners, investors, clients, and other stakeholders that can help improve their competitiveness. This will be done through trade and investment promotion activities, business matchings, participation in global trade fairs, and other interventions for improved market access. There are 3 points that I would like to highlight. First, the Malikhaing Pinoy activities provide much needed support and assistance to creative professionals and enterprises and help to promote the sector's competitiveness and sustainability. With these initiatives in place, the Philippine creative industries are well positioned to become a major contributor to the country's economic growth and development. Second, one of the key strengths of the Philippine creative industries is the ability of local creative professionals to leverage new technologies to create innovative and groundbreaking work. In recent years, the creative industries in the Philippines have embraced new technologies such as artificial intelligence, virtual and augmented reality, and blockchain, among others. These technologies have allowed local creatives to explore new avenues of expression, create immersive and interactive experiences, and reach wider audiences. Third, on the overall, the Philippine Creative Industries Development Act is a significant step towards promoting the growth and development of the creative industries in the Philippines. It recognizes the importance of the sector to the country's economy and provides much needed support and incentives to creative professionals and enterprises. With the implementation of this law, the creative industries in the Philippines are poised to become a major driver of economic growth and development in the country. So, whether you're a creative professional or simply someone who appreciates the power of creativity and innovation, I urge you to explore the world of Philippine creative industries and the cutting-edge technologies being used to drive its growth and development. It is a world of endless possibilities where anything is possible and where the only limit is your imagination. Thank you.
Thank you for that inspiring talk, Yusek Aldaba. Since Yusek Aldaba could not be around with us today, please write her questions and clarifications in the chat box and kindly indicate your email address so we can get back to you accordingly. Before we proceed with the best innovation practices, I would like to call again the president of the Benita and Catalino Yap Foundation, Mr. Antonio Yap, to give his inspirational message. Mr. Yap?
Yes, thank you very much. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit under the weather today. So So I was not able to join immediately. Anyway, I'd like to thank PwC, Tito Pejano, Mr. Boy Chukenhoy, and the DTI, especially the group of Undersecretary Pita, for working with us to come out with this, if you like, introductory program on what is certainly a very important sector in the in the country today, which are the creative industries, a sector that can truly help generate a lot of innovations, a lot of new businesses and industries in the country. So I was able to catch a part of the earlier talk, and I'd like to thank DTI for this, and I look forward to the rest of the conference. Thank you very much. I am not the president of BCYF. I'm the chairman of the board. The president is Mr. Puyat, and on his behalf and my board, we would like to thank again PwC, the VIZ MIN Innovation Council, the BCYF Visayas CSR Council for organizing this event. Thank you very much and good afternoon.
Thank you for that insightful, Mr. Yap. In this juncture, we shall hear how Cebu has progressed and magnified its impact since becoming a UNESCO Creative City of Design. A pre-recorded presentation will tell us more about all the exciting things in the Queen City of the South, Cebu. Here's the focal person for the Cebu UNESCO City of Design and Nexus, Creative Cebu Grind, and the newly appointed private sector and advisor for the Design Advisory Council of the Design Center of the Philippines, Mr. Jill Butch Karungay.
Fellow speakers, distinguished viewers, creative crusaders, ladies and gentlemen, mayang hapon kanatong tanan. My name is Butch and I wear a few different hats. In addition to being a creative entrepreneur myself, I'm also the focal point for Cebu's UNESCO City of Design designation. I also serve in the Cebu City Tourism Commission and most recently, along with our friend M. Inglis, also sit on the advisory board of the Design Center of the Philippines. I am sorry I'm not able to join you in person today as I'm currently in Congress to attend a Creative Cities event that's being organized by the British Council and the Office of Conclave de Venetia. For the benefit of those not familiar with Cebu, let me just give you a quick snapshot of our island, which is smack dab in the center of the 7,000 plus islands that make up the Philippine archipelago, which in pre-colonial days was already a center of commerce and a hub of culture. Cebu is the first Spanish settlement in the Philippines and thus the cradle of the Catholic faith in Asia. In the modern context, Cebu is home to the second largest metropolitan area in the country, long acknowledged as one of the creative hotspots of the Philippines, and for years has been a mainstay of numerous best islands in the world's list. Cebu's success is not entirely all of its own, but is in fact reliant on the many islands and countless individuals who have contributed in the past and continue to do so going forward. As such, all interventions introduced in Cebu are also meant to inspire and be replicated in other areas to magnify both impact and reach. After all, no one has a monopoly on creativity, and we can all learn from each other. Shifting to the definition of the creative industries, Cebu follows the national template that identifies 9 creative domains with more than 70 disciplines that are clustered under 4 main themes. In culture, we have traditional cultural expressions, which includes gastronomy and cultural sites, creative spaces, and monuments. Under the arts, we have visual and performing arts. In media, we have audiovisual and publishing and print. Under functional creations, we have design, which includes furniture and fashion, digital interactive, and creative services. All these disciplines are very much active and well represented in Cebu and often cross-pollinate with many practitioners spanning 2 or more disciplines that straddle the different clusters. The creative industries in Cebu are theorized to contribute 4.7 to 6.6% or 21 to 29 billion pesos of the island's GDP based on studies by the Philippine Statistics Authority and the Design Center of the Philippines. While these figures are still guesstimates, better stats will be available with introduction of the Philippine Creative Economy Satellite Account sometime in the near future. Based on current figures, design is the largest segment in Cebu's creative industries, which should not be a surprise considering the island has long been an export powerhouse in furniture, fashion, and home accessories. This is followed by creative services such as architecture, interiors, and graphics. The third largest is visual arts, but it looks like it may be overtaken by digital and active and new media very soon. Cebu's road to becoming an internationally recognized creative city was a very long and winding one that spanned over half a century, with its roots being planted post-World War II with the establishment of the modern furniture industry. Fashion jewelry export started in the 1960s and 70s, and the first ever sinulog was staged in 1980. High-tech manufacturing was introduced in 1984 with the country's first export processing zone in Mactan. Cebu and significant tourism occurred after the ravages of Typhoon Ruping in 1992, while the BPO industry started in 2000. For decades, the city has also been home to many internationally recognized and multi-awarded designers spanning a wide range of disciplines. Cebu is the base of the multi-award-winning Mactan Cebu International Airport, which is serviced by 16 international airlines, making us easily accessible by hundreds of world cities and 26 domestic cities in the Philippines. Cebu is also home to a big number of mega projects that persevered during the pandemic, which include the longest bridge in the country, one of the largest integrated resorts in the region, and many more in the pipeline, some involving the best architectural talents on the planet. To give everyone a quick background on Cebu's creative journey, I would like to mention that Cebu's UCCN designation did not happen overnight and was in fact the result of an 11-year progression which began in 2008 when the city was first identified as a creative hub by the British Council, followed by the ASEAN City of Culture designation in 2010. Cebu also hosted the ASEAN Creative Cities Network in 2015 and staged the first Cebu Design Week in 2018. Thus, the 2019 UCCN bid was a rational pit stop in our continuing voyage of innovation and reinvention. The UNESCO bid team was composed of a variety of individuals representing various institutions from both the private and public sectors, but was championed by DTI 7. Even before UNESCO published the guidelines for that year, we already formed and convened the group 8 months prior to the deadline to ensure a well-researched and thoroughly thought-out bid dossier. We decided to apply for the design subnetwork because we felt that was what best represented Cebu's diverse creative ecosystem. In October 2019, Cebu joined an elite group of what was then 300 cities worldwide that spanned 7 creative domains that include folk arts and crafts, gastronomy, literature, film, media arts, music, and design, all of whom have identified and prioritized creativity as a means for sustainable and meaningful urban development that are consistent with the UN's SDGs or Agenda 2030. The designation came out at a very opportune time as we already had planned an immersion tour with the DTI and the UN's Department of Social and Economic Affairs Division to Bandung in Indonesia and Singapore, both of which are also UNESCO Cities of Design. After the obligatory rounds of celebration, we plunged into a flurry of activities that included a cross-disciplinary exhibit, the branding of the Cebu Integrated Bus Service, and the introduction of city legislation for the management of the designation. A week before the first round of lockdowns, the British Council, together with the UK's Plymouth College of Arts, held the Making Futures Conference in Cebu, which brought participants from over 20 countries to discuss how crafting communities can reinvent their roles in the context of global challenges. Little did we know then that perhaps the greatest global challenge to confront this generation was just about to explode in all of our collective faces. COVID definitely put an abrupt stop to the breakneck speed at which we had been operating prior since the designation. My consultancy with the UNDESA, which commenced 2 weeks before the first lockdowns, was quickly pivoted in scope to COVID impacts and analysis. It quickly became clear that a methodical, data-driven approach was necessary to be able to quantify, assess, and track COVID-19 impacts, and to introduce relevant and meaningful interventions. Despite the massive disruptions caused by COVID and Typhoon Odette, Cebu's original pillars from the 2019 bid are still relevant and compelling. Driven by the city's tech, tolerance, talent, and tenacity, we aim to enhance the Creative Cebu infrastructure and electrify the Creative Cebu grid to increase the production of creative goods and services, spur incremental tourism, and drive new investments into the creative industries. These, in turn, will benefit the city and its residents to help achieve the UN Sustainable Development Goals in a holistic manner that span economic, environmental, and social aspects. In terms of creative infrastructure, undoubtedly the most high-profile cultural project that was recently launched is the first National Museum of the Philippines branch in Cebu City. Located in the old customs building, it has 5 distinct galleries showcasing the island's rich and diverse biodiversity, geology, archaeological treasures, art, and ethnographic and maritime traditions. The NMP Cebu quickly became very popular, exceeding the most optimistic of pre-opening estimates by more than 100%. NMP Cebu is also located in the city's historical core, which was recently designated a heritage district by the City Council after the convening of the first ever Heritage Summit in December 2022. Within the same district is the island's largest public market, which is being redeveloped by the same team as the Mactan Cebu International Airport. Despite only interim structures being done, Carbon Market was a finalist in the Futures Projects category at the 2023 World Architecture Awards. Once completed, this commercial complex will feature multiple distinct zones, multimodal connectivity, and will have the Solihia Export Center for designer goods, arts, and crafts. Also in the district is the Kabilin Center, which is a major venue for exhibits, workshops, and performances initiated by the Ramon Aboitiz Foundation. For the holiday 2023 season, this center also ventured into pop-up spaces at the Mactan International Airport to promote and democratize Cebuano art and creativity. Cebu's creative spaces are not limited to its historical core, and many privately owned commercial complexes have pivoted into the creative scene, such as Crossroads Mall, which realigned their tenant mix and programming by offering co-working and co-making spaces, performance venues, and kids' workshop areas. Creative neighborhoods have also been popping around the city, where locators have coalesced to come up with ad hoc mini creative zones with interesting tenant mixes, dedicated activities, and regular walking tours. Many academic institutions have introduced Fab Labs, the most dynamic of which is the one located in UP Cebu, which constantly engages and empowers not just their students, but also the community at large. Privately funded maker spaces that converge digital and analog skills and tech have also begun to sprout out. There are also numerous tech accelerators and labs in the city that exist within educational institutions as well as in private facilities. Even small venues such as this avant-garde and elevated hole-in-the-wall eatery are embracing the cross-pollination of multiple creative fields, which in this case uses gastronomy, food styling, experiential design, and graphics. Experiential spaces, such as the Bear Cave, which is the first fluid art studio in the country, opened in 2022, and allow kids of all ages to create works of art with bears of varying sizes using non-traditional painting techniques. Cebu's first experiential baking studio also opened recently. This DIY baking studio allows amateur bakers to design and customize your desserts in whatever way you like. You can bake them by yourself or with a friend for a fun, memorable experience. The country's first yarn-based co-creation cafe allows amateurs and seasoned crocheters alike to learn new skills and level up their existing ones. These are just some examples of the many creative spaces in Cebu that have popped up recently and span both large and small-scale projects and grassroots-driven initiatives. There are definitely many more in the pipeline as the city stakeholders continue to be inspired and inspire. Now let us shift to the Creative Cebu Grid, which represents the softer but equally important side of interventions since the designation in 2019. The CCG is composed of local and national government, the academe, civic society, and the private sector, and is meant to continuously map resources, bridge gaps, and align initiatives so redundancies are reduced and synergies achieved. International collaborators, while not technically part of the grid, are still reflected on it since they are extremely valuable resources and partners. Central to the Creative Cebu Grid is Cebu Design Week, which in 2020 transitioned into a fully virtual conference that gathered design professionals, students, and enthusiasts from all over the world that would not have been possible pre-COVID. The Blue Bengal Awards launched new categories to recognize creativity while in lockdown, acknowledge that it can be manifested anywhere and in many ways, and reward those who integrated design in the way they lived, worked, and played during the pandemic. Categories included PPEs, work-from-home nooks, indoor herb gardens, and small-scale street art. In 2021, the Visayas Art Fair was launched as a main component of Cebu Design Week with generous support from the NCCA. This was followed by Bodega Design Caravan in 2022 and is being renamed Visayas Design Arts and Culture Festival, or VIZDAC, which is a pun on BIZDAC to reflect its ever-growing scope and reach, and will be staged once again the last weekend of November. In addition to the exhibits, these events included talks, mini creative summits, workshops, cross-disciplinary shows, performances, and even the launch of the I Love Filipino Design activity book for kids and the young at heart. This year, events promises to be the biggest one yet, so please mark November 28 to December 1 in your calendars for BIZDAC. The 6th edition of the Blue Mango Awards will once again highlight placemaking after last year's focus on image making. It will be staged in cooperation with the United Architects of the Philippines and will recognize exemplary work in architecture, interiors, landscape, and experiential design. The Design Cebu Gateway, which is a 24/7 virtual converging point, repository of resources, and platform for collaboration, will continue to evolve and be more robust and compelling. In addition to the admin-generated content, the current version of the Design Cebu Gateway has a very robust LinkedIn-type user module that was launched in 2022, where users can establish their profiles, upload portfolios, events, and listings with some social media functionality so they can message, like, and follow. Through our work with Congressman Toff and his team, we helped establish the Philippine Creative Cities Network and came up with most of the points of the PCCN Creative Manifesto. The PCCN is meant to be a support group, incubator, and accelerator of Filipino cities that want to utilize creativity as a means of meaningful and inclusive social development. Starting in 2022, Cebu City to highlight the convergence of creativity and tourism, we introduced the Creative Cebu Loop as part of the 4 tourism trails in the city, which include culture and heritage, highlands, coastal, and urban. This already dense itinerary is almost impossible to cover in one day, but certain aspects of it have been utilized by many visitors and tour groups since its launch. The Philippine UNESCO Trail is envisioned to bring together the 20 UNESCO sites in the Philippines that span internationally recognized world heritage, intangible cultural heritage, creative cities, biosphere reserves, and geosites that converges culture, creativity, and geography. Currently in its ideation phase, we're hoping to launch this initiative with Baguio, Bohol, and perhaps Iloilo later this year. Cebu City has also beefed up its awards programs to recognize creative contributions to tourism, culture, and the arts, encourage current practitioners to level up, and inspire the next generation. During the yearly Cebu City Tourism Month every September, the Estilo Cebuanon Fashion and Lifestyle Fair features Cebuano-made artisanal goods and services. Already in its 27th year, Cebu Business Month shifted to a 4-month platform in 2023 to be able to focus on 4 sectors, namely tourism in July, entrepreneurship in August, technology in September, and creative entertainment in October. Cebu's unique initiative for the Philippine Creative Industries Month, which was launched last September, was a Sketchakucha design sprint that involved the cross-section of creative disciplines. Now let's shift to the international level, where Cebu has been very active in UCCN events and meetings, particularly in the Cities of Design sub-network. We've also evaluated and consolidated membership monitoring reports, as well as reviewed UCCN applications in 2021 and 2023. Since the lockdowns were eased in 2022, we started participating in international events hosted by different cities, kicking off with the ASEAN UNESCO Cities of Design, namely Bandung, Bangkok, Cebu, Hanoi, and Singapore, at the revitalized and very impressive Singapore Design Week 2022. Kaunas is the 2nd largest city in Lithuania and was the European Capital of Culture in 2022 and was the venue for the first in-person post-COVID COD sub-network meeting. Geelong in Australia, which is located an hour away from Melbourne and is the only city of design in that country, was the venue for last year's COD sub-network event in March 2023. Late last year, Cebu co-hosted the 13th Asia Design Share Council meetings. This annual gathering assembled delegations from 9 leading design organizations representing 7 dynamic countries, including Indonesia, Malaysia, the Republic of Korea, Singapore, Thailand, Vietnam, and the Philippines. The theme for that event was Emerging Design for Emergencies and highlighted Cebu's strategic location and resources as a center of excellence for such programs. The CEB-X-DND exchange is a 3-year multifaceted reciprocal project and is meant to leverage both Cebu's and Dundee's City of Design designation. Supported by the British Council, the first leg involved an immersion exchange in Scotland with 7 reps from Cebu's creative disciplines and DTI's USEC FITA. The Philippine UNESCO Trail is a direct offshoot of this initiative, as Scotland is the first and only country to have launched such a project. At the end of 2023, we released Bridges to Brilliance, which to our knowledge is the first localized consolidated roadmap for all creative domains as identified by the Philippine Creative Industries Development Act. This 106-page document profiles the different disciplines and clusters, identifies cross-cutting gaps, and makes recommendations that build on past efforts and introduces new ones. Bridges to Brilliance uses a methodical approach that included exhaustive literature review and analyzed existing roadmaps, engaged various stakeholders, mapped out global trends before synthesizing conclusions and making recommendations. The study also aligns with national government initiatives such as the Malikaing Pinoy program and takes into account international commitments such as those outlined in our UNESCO bid. Most interventions are commingled or have knock-on effects on each other and revolve around creative elevation, empowerment, promotion, and institutionalization. We are currently in the process of validating the recommendations, getting buy-in from all the stakeholders, identifying sectoral champions, and we'll hopefully have specific timelines and milestones very soon. Once done, we will make sure to make the PDF downloadable for those who may want to read it. These are just some of the past and planned initiatives that will hopefully dispel the fake news that creativity is non-essential, when in fact it is critical for Cebu or any other city, for that matter, to thrive and remain consequential in an increasingly hyper-competitive planet. Creative practitioners in meaningful and sustainable city building to help realize a city that excites and a Cebu that delights, that is not just livable, but lovable. It is with that thought that I would like to end today's talk, but the conversations will continue. Please feel free to reach out to me on any of these platforms behind me so we can continue to connect, create, and cultivate for a much better and exciting
Thank you, Mr. Karungay, for sharing the Cebu's experiences and best practices as a UNESCO City of Design. Once again, since Mr. Karungay could not be with us today, please write your questions and clarifications in the chat box. And again, kindly indicate your email address to get back to you accordingly. Now, we shall present our certificates of appreciation to USEC Aldaba and Mr. Karungay for their invaluable contribution to the success of this event. So our last but definitely not the least speaker, from design to food, we now move down south in Mindanao, the food basket of the Philippines, the country's first ever food innovation center established. It has been a recognized template for innovative strategies and outputs for FICs nationwide. Recently, it was recognized as one of the most successful projects of DOST produced. Learn more about the FPIC's Harvest in Food Innovation and the Pentahelix Network. Let us all welcome its Center Manager, Ms. Maria Cristina B. Ramos. A warm of applause, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. As mentioned earlier by the Undersecretary, Dr. Aldaba, one of the domains of the creative industry is traditional cultural expressions, specifically gastronomy, under which we operate and set our endeavors. This afternoon, let me present the best practices in the food innovation and pentahelix network of the food processing innovations. To introduce the center, FPIC, or the Food Processing Innovation Center, was established in May 15 of 2014 through the High Impact Technology Solutions Program. It was SEC-registered as a non-stock, non-profit institution. FPIC is a GMP, or a Good Manufacturing Practices compliant. It's a common service facility for students, faculty, food processors in Davao region, and nearby provinces. And its core services are common service facility, product R&D, equipment rental, trainings and consultancy, toll processing, and technology transfer. So who are we and what do we do? The center is mandated to develop food technologies from abundant raw materials found in the locality, as well as give technical support to students, faculty members, food processors, researchers, and startup as MSMEs in the Davao region. Our vision is to be a leading hub for innovations and technical support services for the food industry in the region. Our mission is that we commit to provide innovative technologies and relevant support services to contribute to inclusive and sustainable development of the food industry in Davao region and nearby provinces. Well, inside the center, these are the major equipment that you will find. We have a freeze dryer, we have a spray dryer, vacuum fryer, and water retort. This equipment uses advanced technologies. And of course, to support this major equipment, we have auxiliary equipment. Now, let me present the best practices of the FPIC. Our first best practice and I would say the best, was the pentahelix stakeholder concept. This one, we engaged the government through DOST, DTI, and the local government unit of Davao City. The academe through the Philippine Women's College of Davao, which is the host institution of the Food Processing Innovation Center. We have the industry through the Food Processing Association, Food Processors, I should say, Food Processors Association of Davao City, the civil society, the Hydrology for Environment, Life and Policy, and lastly, media. If you take a look at our pentahelix stakeholders, it is coined MAGIC: media, academe, government, industry, and civil society. And with this MAGIC, we have pursued our vision and our mission. The second best practice for the FIC, it has an accessible plant location. It is a certified GMP compliant layout and competitive facilities and equipment. We have an operation manual that has been copyrighted and shared with other FICs to have to attain a harmonized service. Then we have been benchmarked by different food innovation centers from the country, several HEIs or higher education institutions, and local government units. Also, we have a personal competent grad. Our science researchers or food science researchers are graduates of the DOST SEI. Next is, aside from the pentahelix, we have a technical advisory panel from the different government agencies. And for the HEIs, we have also a food product development team, which is composed of 5 HEIs offering food technology program in the region. Having spin off from being a project, here are our compliances with applicable regulatory and statutory requirements. So it has a SEC registration, it has a BIR certificate of registration, a business permit, an FDA LTO, and a fire safety inspection certificate, and the FDA GMP certification. Next, our researches are aligned with the harmonized national research and development agenda. This is to ensure that we get the support from DOST, and the most important one is the funding. Next is, in terms of product innovations, we have a project, development of functional foods from calabash fruit. This was funded by DOST, the Philippine Council of Health Research and Development. In this project, FPIC is the implementing agency, PCHRD is the funding agency, and our collaborators are with the Philippine Women's College of Davao and the Davao Medical School Foundation. Another project on product innovation is the development of ready-to-eat foods for children aged 1 to 5 years old. Again, this was funded the Philippine Council for Health Research and Development. The 4 products from this research are used for emergency foods and also for the feeding program of the LGUs. This was implemented by Philippine Women's College of Davao, funded by DOST PCHRD, collaborated also by FPIC and the local government of the city. Another product innovation that we did, and in partnership with the Philippine Council for Agriculture, Aquatic, and Natural Resources Research and Development, is the production and distribution of emergency foods for COVID-19 from clients and selected marginalized communities using FPIC Davao developed technologies. Again, this is in collaboration with PICARD, FPIC, the Philippine Women's College of Davao, DOST 11, and the University of Southeastern Philippines. We also do our in-house R&D activities using the different equipment that we have. In this slide, you will see all the products that we have done. And here are some photos of these products. At the center, we see to it that we register with the patent office our outputs. Today, we have 40 utility models, a total of 40 innovative technologies for commercialization. And for sustainable and inclusive processing technologies, we have partnered with the DOST 11 to establish the Research and Innovation Center for Halal Science, or RICHES. In this center, we conduct trainings for halal food services or halal food providers. And we also have the smart toll processing, which is the development and deployment of smart toll processing system for vacuum fried mixed chips, spray dried coconut powder, and thermally processed tuna congee. This was funded by the Philippine Council for Industry, Energy, and Emerging Technology Research and Development. Here, we were able to install a toll processing facility like the horizontal retort, which has a capacity of 1,800 pouches per run. And in a day, we can do 5,400 pouches. So with this, we are now able to serve the industry. And together with this, we were able to establish an IT-enabled system of doing business processes. These are the products that were, the tuna conchi, the mixed chips, and the kukulite that was under this project. Again, this was done with PwC and FPIC and the fishery. One of our objectives is waste reduction and valorization. From this slide, you can see what we have done for various food products, utilization of out of specification commodities to value-added winner products. We have durian value-added products. We also have from pomelo, from the squash, from the Cavendish, and from the dragon fruit. And in all these endeavors, we promote local sourcing. We partner with local social enterprise for the surplus agricultural commodities, the coconut farmers for our bukulite, and we develop products from our local farmers and suppliers. Here, we champion the Filipino farmers and suppliers. In terms of education and trainings, we also have our programs. The food researchers from the FPIC Davao mentored the food product development for a 14-week training with Wadwan Foundation for PwC students. So our food scientists are not only doing this food product development, but we also mentor students who are interested to go into processed food enterprise. Also, FPIC serves as a laboratory for PwC of Davao food technology professional courses and thesis. And it's a thesis laboratory for different HEIs. Please take note, it's different HEIs because HEIs as far as Iligan, Bukidnon, Cotabato, and even Agusan, some of them do their researches here. It is also a manufacturing facility for on-the-job trainees from different HEIs. So we also conducted training on IP management, intellectual property management, and prior art search. For our community engagement, we conduct food safety related trainings. This is in partnership with the Davao Food Safety Team and the DOST 11. Another community engagement was also the COVID-19 response advocacy and fair trade livelihood enterprise support program. This was funded by the Australian Awards Alumni Engagement Program. Here, we trained mothers from the Magtuod Elementary School and the Archdiocesan Nourishment Center. The intention of this was to train the displaced mothers so that they could have home enterprise. Next. Well, this is the FPIC Davao Roadmap for 2030. And for this roadmap, we ask the participation of the pentahelix stakeholders. And this is what we intend or what we hope to achieve by 2030. For all these efforts and for all these projects, we did receive some awards and recognition. The latest was FPIC is the recipient of the 2023 CSC Pag-asa Award in the search for outstanding government workers. This was last week. Before that, 13 utility models. Earlier, I mentioned that we have 40 utility models, and 13 of which developed by the FPIC Davao are recipient of the 2022 DOST Intellectual Property Awards, UN Registration Awards, last 2022 held at the World Trade Center, Pasay City. And well, going back through time, in 2020, we also received the award as one of the top 10 government best practices out of 73 entries. Here, during this year, we received also an intellectual property award for the 3 UMs. And 2019 is the banner program highlighted during the assessment of DOST 11 for their PQA level 2. And 2017, we registered FPIC, and it's the only FIC in the country that has a SEC registration. And it was one of the first 2 centers that was granted a license to operate as a food manufacturer by FDA. And our first award was in 2016 when we received the 2016 Davao Region Excellence Awards in Project Implementation for Economic Development Sector by NEDA 11. And our products also won as one of the most innovative products in a national competition organized by DOST ITDI. With this, I would like to thank you for the opportunity for presenting our best practices, with a hope that we could share also our best practice with the other FICs in the country. Thank you and good afternoon.
Thank you for that very informative and for your sharing of the best innovative practices of FPIC of Davao, Ma'am Tina. In this juncture, I will be opening the virtual floor for questions and clarifications to Ma'am Tina. Surely there will be questions for those numerous innovative practices. So questions and clarifications, everybody? So, yes, there is one question for Ma'am Tina. Ma'am Tina, how does the Pentahelix network foster collaboration and knowledge exchange among its members to drive food innovation?
Well, first of all, the Pentahelix network is very helpful in our strategic planning, where we do our exchanges and we get the inputs from the different sectors, from the academe, from the industry, from the civil society also. And of course, there's the media. And from the government, especially DTI for the market requirements, and the LGU for the concerns of usually the farmers. And the Pentahelix also provides us linkages to implement our products, to get partners, and yes, also for funding. And the Pentahelix collaboration was also an instrument that we get proposals for collaborative projects. In that way, we can address the 5 major stakeholders.
Thank you for that, Ma'am Tina. So I hope that answers your question. Ma'am Tina, there is a question from Ms. Merliza. Good afternoon, ma'am, sir. Is there any program or specific organization who are willing to give scholarship for those financially unstable students? who are not academically talented and yet persistent and determined to pursue a course or any skills related to creative industry, especially those living in remote places, I think.
Oh, we have with FPIC, what we usually I mean, in the past, what we have engaged was that we were able to assist what you call RICs, rural improvement councils, and like mothers, as I elaborated earlier. We trained mothers these mothers are from the Magtuod Elementary School. Magtuod is the dump site of Davao City. And also, what I know from the school, Philippine Women's College of Davao, is that they have a the program on food also. Yeah, food and beverage, and other courses also, like fashion and culinary. But for FPIC, wala akong alam. I mean, it's we just do training and education for a selected group or for those group who request for these trainings.
Yes. Thank you for that, Mantins. I think there are scholarships from DOST and CHED, Miss Merliza. So you can check it out, the list of the courses they can offer through a scholarship. Due to the interest of time, let us proceed. And rest assured, all your questions from the chat box will be answered accordingly. And we'll get back to you as soon as possible. At this juncture, I would like to present the Certificate of Appreciation to Ms. Maria Cristina B. Ramos for sharing her invaluable contribution to the success of this event. On behalf of the committee, to all our speakers, I would like to thank you all for be with us this afternoon. In this juncture, this afternoon's key takeaways will be summarized by the head of the Philippine Women's College of Davao, Center for Innovation, and recently appointed as one of the 4 private sector advisors of the Design Advisory Council of the Design Center of the Philippines, Mr. Emmy Englist.
Wow. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you to our esteemed speakers, Yusek, Fita Aldaba. We also had Mr. Hill Butch Karungay, and of course, Ms. Maria Cristina Ramos for sharing their valuable time and also their expertise in sharing with us their experiences, and also the lens from where their current engagements are really gaining traction in terms of helping and also leveraging our creative industries in the Philippines. So our Innovation Week 2024 edition has finally come to a close, and this year is made extra special as we also highlighted the creative industries in an inclusive and sustainable framework. In this last session of a series that started last Monday, we focused our lens on the experiences of the Visayas and Mindanao grid. We started with a talk this afternoon on the Philippine Creative Industries Act and its impact on the country's socio-economic development. Undersecretary Fita Aldaba pointed out the trillion peso value of the creative industries. Interestingly, she further highlighted the government's commitment to strategically positioning the Philippines as a key player in the creative economy in the ASEAN region. It was followed by sharing best practices by our foremost creative economy champions in Cebu and in Davao. Butch Karungay of Cebu UNESCO City of Design walked us through Cebu's trailblazing positioning. But what could be more relevant is the aftermath of the achievement. Sustainably, Cebu continues to lead the country's design roadshow and roadmap, encompassing tourism, culture, investment, technology, and of course, design futures. Down south in Davao, food technologist and purveyor of food innovation, Maria Cristina Ramos, visualized a pentahelix network of government, industry, academe, civil society, and media working together to contextualize innovation according to the needs, issues, and concerns of local communities. The nexus of stakeholders motivated the utilization of abundant natural resources to produce cutting-edge products and systems. These best practices tell how Visayas and Mindanao have since been breaking ground. We can only be as excited to see what more is in store. The legacy of innovation indeed is echoing true. Indeed, innovation is our tradition. And let this be our constant reminder. As Butch Karungay said earlier, no one has a monopoly on creativity. We all can learn from each other. Once again, thank you and good afternoon. Happy Innovation Week 2024.
Thank you for that message, Sir Emmy. At this juncture, as we draw near to the end of this enriching session, I invite you once again to share your feedback by scanning the QR code presented in your screen. Your input is invaluable as we strive to make each event more meaningful and impactful in the future.